Yo, what is up guys? So we've got some new gameplay of the new Harpies in action over here, but mostly it's the same setup here with making these kinds of boards. Now this variant is a nightmare variant, so it's basically a lockdown, so it doesn't really let your opponent play Yu-Gi-Oh! However, the new Harpies, we're just pretty much using them for what they can do as far as adding extra cards. Harpies are not a bad archetype at all, especially for popping back row. They're one of the best, just because every time they summon a monster, your opponent's going to be losing out on a back row. But the most important card that I think the deck has is actually a negation called Harpy's Featherstorm, which is actually going to, well, I'll go over all of their effects because it might be a little fast here, because I mean, with this kind of a board, the game is going to be really fast. We've got Split Mirrors of Seduction, which is one of the newer cards, and it makes it so whenever a Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters is destroyed by battle, you just summon a Harpy monster with a different original name from your deck. And if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect or by a Harpy's card effect, you can target a Harpy monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use each effective at once per turn. So this basically lets you crash into things and get out other monsters, potentially for a main phase 2 setup. We're going to lock your opponent potentially out if they did not take a extra deck zone, and you can obviously protect yourself, and then later maybe take some battle damage, and you guys will see this shortly here. But pretty much the new cards, I'll go over all of their effects, but I want to give you guys some gameplay so you guys can kind of get an idea of how the deck works. And then this, again, is more of a nightmare variant, so basically what we're utilizing here is Swallow's Nest to just go into another monster, and also being able to search out a card, courtesy of the new card, Perfumer. So Perfumer has the effect where when it's normal or special, you get to add a spell or trap that specifically lists a Harpy Lady Sisters. But if you control a 5 or higher Harpy monster, you're able to add up to 2 of those cards, which is actually pretty nice, but again, it's just kind of more searchability to kind of pull off. This is what you really want to pull off, and obviously, this is the board that is very difficult for a lot of people to technically deal with. It's basically like a GG no re kind of a board, but yo, shout out to my boy Teriyaki for hooking me up with these plays. But yeah, like I said, this is just basically, at the end of the day, it just looks like a Tomahawk deck. However, the new Harpy cards are going to let you, again, search out those other cards that you need to perhaps pull off your combo or stall, because again, that one card where it just it's where if they would destroy, you get a special summon one, or if your Harpy gets destroyed by battle, you get to summon another Harpy from your deck. So again, it's just more stall, and obviously Elegant Egotist is another card that's going to help you kind of pull off these combos, and it does search it out, although with the previous build of Harpies, you could technically add that card anyways. It's just a little bit more consistency over here. But again, this is a Nightmare variant. We could probably make a regular Harpy deck, although I think that the Nightmare variant of just locking your opponent out is probably the best way to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is to not let your opponent play. But like I said, I'll go over all their effects now that you guys have basically seen what the deck can do. Let's go ahead and go over their effects of all of the new cards. Now, there is one card we did not play in this deck that is technically a new card. I do want to go over that effect. So that is the Elegant Harpy Lady. So this is a trap card that says you shuffle 1 Harpy Lady Sisters you control into the deck, then special summon 1 Harpy monster, each with different original names, from your hand, deck, and graveyard. And this is the downside: you can't special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except for wind monsters. But if this card on the field is destroyed by your opponent's card effect or your Harpy card's effect, you can add a Harpy monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use each effect once per turn. That's really cool that you can get out 3 Harpies. It does technically make this card that's a little bit more difficult to pull off. It's called Harpy Later Phoenix Formation. There's a lot of downsides to this card, but like I said, it does make this card much easier to get out. And like I said, I'll go over the effects of the other Harpy cards in a second. And I'll give you guys a brief little deck profile here. But anyways, so Harpy Lady's Phoenix Formation is probably not a card you want to run, but you know, I understand that people that are fans of running, like, you know, certain cards. So anyways, if you control 3 or more Harpy Lady and or Harpy Lady Sisters, target as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, but not more than the total number of Harpy Lady and Harpy Lady Sisters you control. You get to destroy those targets. If you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the highest original attack amongst those destroyed monsters, your choice. And then also, you can't special summon monsters from the main or the extra deck, nor conduct your battle phase of turn you activate this card. However, you're going to be obviously getting them out during your opponent's turn with something like the Elegant Harpy Lady. Although there's much better cards to special summon your Harpies anyways. There's the Trap card that discards one, which is called Hysteric Party. you just discard one card and special summon as many copies of Harpy Lady as possible from your graveyard. Now this does let you get one from the deck and also one from the hand. However, you can go through the Harpies relatively quick, especially with like Harpy Queen, you just get rid of it. And then also you technically have Channeler, which is going to discard a Harpy card. Like, it's very easy anyways. I don't really know if this is what I would consider super necessary. Now, the one really insane cards that Harpies have is a card we didn't see in the gameplay because we didn't need to negate anything because our component really couldn't play too much. However, Harpy's Featherstorm is a really, really insane trap card. It says if you control a winged beast monster until the end of this turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. That's insane, right? But it gets better. If you control a Harpy monster, you can activate this card from your hand. And also, if this card in its own spell and trap is destroyed, you get to add a Harpy's Feather Duster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. We don't have that in the TCG, so that's kind of unfortunate with all this new Harpy support coming out. I thought in the TCG, they should have unbanned Feather Duster because it would really help out this deck technically as well, but maybe they want to support more back row in Yu-Gi-Oh! But nonetheless, Featherstorm is an excellent, excellent card just to negate anything. That, by the way, that also does stop hand traps. So basically, yeah, until the end phase, your opponent's not doing anything. So that's why the Nightmare version is very consistent and safe, because your first initial play will probably be Harpy, try to add search or anything. They would activate a card effect, you just say no, and for the rest of the turn, negate any monster effects your opponent activates. So therefore, you should be pretty safe on your combos, therefore making your Nightmare board easy, GG, no re, lock them out of actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh! But I wanted to also, like I said, go over the full effects of each one of the new cards because they got announced and, well, I give you guys gameplay and then now you guys can see the full effects. But anyways, this is Harpie Perfumer. I briefly mentioned her effect, but I'm going to go over the full effect real quick. So this is one of the new cards. We have a total of 4 new Harpy cards. But this card becomes Harpy Lady while it's on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is normal summon or special, you get to add one spell or trap that specifically lists the card Harpy Lady Sisters and its text from your deck to your hand, and if controlled a level 5 or higher Harpy monster when you activated this effect, you get to add up to 2 of those cards with different names instead. You can only use this effect of it once per turn. Now, I was thinking about like what other cards you can actually like add with this, so I'm going to go ahead and type in Harpy Lady Sisters. We're going to go to all so you can see all of them. Harpy Lady Sisters, because it does include spell or trap. Oops. Harpy Lady. Wait, what the heck? Why is it not registering as Harpy Lady Sisters? Because it has to be specifically Harpy Lady Sisters. That's really weird. Hold on. Harpy Lady. Oh, you know what? I might actually have to hit search again. Okay, there we go. So there is a few interesting cards. There is a card called Triangle Ecstasy Spark, but it makes it so all Harpy Lady Sisters on the field becomes 2,700, and your opponent can't activate any trap cards, and you need all of your opponent's trap cards. I don't feel like you need that. You're going to be popping stuff with the field spell anyways, but more than likely it's you can go for Elegant Egotist or go for other Harpy cards. Obviously, there's actually another build over here. There's actually 2 builds that he sent in, but Elegant Egotist can be one of the cards. You can also this one specifically does less Harpy Lady Sisters, so Split Mirrors of Seduction is another new card, but that's probably like an okay other target. But overall, there really isn't anything too good. If you could add Hysteric Party or something like that, that would make the decks a lot better for adding other things. But as far as I'm aware of, there's nothing really too insane that you can add. I mean, this is just kind of slowing your deck down. This is more for consistency than being able to pull off, like, adding a card that's going to give you, like, game. Although, like I said, this can be used tactically for main phase 2 in a combo I'll mention briefly, which is just basically crashing your own monster to get another monster. But, yeah. So that is Perfumer. That's the first new card. The second new card is Harpy Oracle. So this card becomes Harpy Lady while on the field or in the graveyard. You can only use each effect of it once per turn. So this effect says if you control a 5 or higher Harpy monster, you can go ahead and special summon this card from your hand. And then it has another effect of if it's normal or special summon, you can activate this effect. During the end phase of this turn, you get to add one spell or trap that specifically lists in the card name Harpy Lady Sister in its text from your graveyard to your hand. So one searches out from the deck, which is obviously what I would consider to be much better, and then Oracle is going to let you add one from the graveyard. So I don't know how I feel about that, if it's like really, really strong, but I mean, like, Channeler is still one of the best Harpy cards for sure. This does let you discard any Harpy card. I wish it could just be any card because that would make it so much better for Oracle. But nonetheless, there's one more card that we need to go over. I already went over this one, which is the one where you can special summon like 3 of them. But Split Mirrors of Seduction is the last card for the archetype. And anyways, it's a continuous spell card that says when your Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters is destroyed by battle, you can just special summon 1 Harpy monster with a different original name from your deck. And if this card you control is destroyed by an opponent's card effect, you get to go ahead and target a Harpy monster in your graveyard and special summon it. So this card lets you crash your other monsters to get whatever key card that you need for another monster. So basically special summon another one, stall out, whatever you need to do can be used for that. But anyways, let's go over like a quick little deck profile briefly real quick. So let me go ahead and click sort. We got double dragon, triple queen, triple harpist, triple copies of channeler, triple copies of perfumer, triple oracle, Ibly, glow bulb, triple instant fusion. We've got soul charge, 2 copies of terraforming. We've got reborn, double mallets, triple swallow's nest, triple split mirrors, triple harpy and Harpy's Featherstorm for the extra deck. I mean, the only cards that were really used. Well, that's just for, of course, your instant fusion. Then we got Tomahawk, we got Borisode, Firewall, Unicorn, Phoenix, 2 of those, 1 Cerberus, Needle Fiber, Proxy, Mermaid, Link Spider, and Link Karibo. But a lot of times, like, this is just kind of like a turn 1 oriented deck. You might be able to drop 1 card and perhaps throw in like another instant fusion target if you wish to, but I would say this is more oriented around a turn 1 version. We'll probably build another version of the deck that's more like, I guess, a pure Harpy, even though, like, if you look at the deck profile, it's basically pure Harpies minus like Ibly, Glow Bulb, but pretty much it's a Nightmare Lockout deck, utilizing some of the Harpy cards to search out other cards like Elegant Egotist or whatever the key cards you need to after you go for your link cards. This is like a really important card for Harpies. So Elegant Egotist makes it so if a Harpy Lady is on the field, you're supposed to summon 1 Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters from your hand or deck. So it just gives you that extra card, perhaps for your link combos, and it's a searchable card. And most of the cards like summon extra things anyways. For example, Harpist over here, this card has effect when it's normal summon, you can target a wing beast monster you control and 1 face-up monster opponent controls and bounce them back to the hand. There's another card called Harpy Dancer. We didn't go over it really quick, but Harpy Dancer can let you pop 1 additional back row. Harpy Dancer. This is a card that, it was like a really simple card that people did use before. So you target a wind monster you control, you bounce it back, and then you can normal summon it again. It basically just lets you pop a card, plus it's another like Harpy and his wing beast, you know, for it can just go into like other things like Swallow's Nest. It's just real simple, like just being able to destroy back row, because the hunting ground, every time you summon a monster, well, it's the player who connected the summon targets 1, so it's when any Harpy Lady or Harpy Lady Sisters is normal or special summon. You get that effect, and it boosts them up by a small amount. It's pretty much irrelevant for the nightmares, but basically having this still helps out because it lets you pop multiple back row with just like 1 card. That's pretty much what it's used for. And you can pop like sometimes multiple. This is not a once per turn, by the way. You can sometimes pop 3-4 cards per turn with Hunting Ground. But yeah, the most important card that you guys didn't get to see in the gameplay, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You activate it and you're going to be safe because all you need is a Harpy Lady and you just negate all of your opponent's monster's effects for the rest of the turn. That's really dirty, by the way. But anyways, yeah, that's new Harpies, guys. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comment section below. If you guys want to suggest anything for this build that my boy Teriyaki sent in, go ahead and suggest it in the comment section below. But here you guys go. It's a Lockout Harpy deck utilizing some of the new cards. Again, they're just searchers at the end of the day for other cards. I wish they had like really other cool effects, but all it really comes down to is just searching out the other Harpy stuff. Wish you could search out this, because this does say a Harpy monster, but if it just had a Harpy's Lady Sister, the deck would be so much better. So much better. But anyways, hope you guys enjoying seeing that. And shouts once again to my boy Teriyaki. And if you guys got cool replays of any of the new cards that came out in the past couple days, feel free to go ahead and send me a YRP file. You get a shout out just like Teriyaki did. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button to see more new Yu-Gi-Oh! Gameplay decks in action, as well as new cards when they get announced. I'm signing out.